The long-awaited third secret of Fatima would soon be revealed to the world.
The story of Fatima centers around three intense messages that have captivated many. In 2000, the Vatican shared the third message with the world. It told of an angel holding a sword ablaze, poised to ignite the earth.
At one point, one of these children, Lucia, was given three secrets. The first was that she got to see what hell looked like.
What if this vision of fiery doom is meant for us in 2024? Join us as we delve into the chilling possibilities of Fatima's final prophecy coming true. The third secret's fiery messenger. On May 13, 1917, in a place called Cova da Iria, three young shepherd children, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, were watching their sheep when they experienced something extraordinary. They believed they saw Our Lady of Fatima, who shared with them three important messages. These messages, known for their dramatic predictions about future conflicts and suffering, especially in the church, have intrigued many over the years. The third message, in particular, has caused much concern. The story of Fatima's third secret started in the small Portuguese town of Fatima. The children were playing after saying their prayers when they noticed unusual lightning. Thinking a storm was coming, they started to lead their sheep home. But then, a brighter flash of lightning appeared, and above a small tree, they saw a beautiful lady in white floating above it. This was the beginning of a series of extraordinary events for the children. This lady, calm and holding a white rosary, told them to pray the rosary every day to help bring peace and end the war. This was the first of several visits from what would be known as Our Lady of Fatima. The children kept her words a secret for many years, considering them very confidential. In 1941, Lucia, who had become a nun, was told by a bishop to reveal the first two secrets. These included frightening visions of a fiery pit and predictions about humanity's future troubles. But the third secret remained hidden for much longer. As time went on, the mystery and anticipation around this third secret grew more and more. Finally, Sister Lucia shared the third secret with the Pope, who kept it sealed in an envelope for many years. When it was finally disclosed, it sparked widespread debate, with many scholars, clergy, and believers offering different interpretations. The ongoing fascination with the Fatima revelations shows their deep impact on the faithful. The secrets, especially the third one, remain a major point of theological study and spiritual thought. They tell a story of warning and hope that continues to resonate with people worldwide. But this wasn't the most troubling part. The details of the third secret revealed an angel ready to punish the world, which has caused many to reflect on its meaning and implications for our times. Some scholars believe that the name Fatima also connects to the Islamic figure Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad, showing the shared respect for Mary in both Christianity and Islam. Mary, known as the mother of Jesus in Christianity and as an important figure in Islam, is highly respected in both faiths. In Islam, Mary, or Maryam, is honored for her virtues and her miraculous life as described in the Quran, which includes an entire chapter about her. This scriptural focus highlights her exceptional piety and the miraculous birth of her son Jesus, known as Isa in Islam. The connection between Mary and Fatima might come from the similar virtues they represent, such as faith and devotion, which are central to both Christian and Islamic traditions. Despite the debates over this link, what matters is that the visions seen by the children in Portugal were those of Mary, the mother of Jesus. The story begins with Mary appearing to three children in Fatima on the 13th day of 6 consecutive months. During these visits, she shared messages with deep meanings. She warned the children of the hardships they would face, but promised them heavenly peace eventually. Mary stressed the importance of praying the rosary daily to achieve world peace and to end ongoing conflicts. But this wasn't the worst part. On her second visit, Mary introduced a new prayer to be said at the end of each rosary decade and shared a touching revelation with the children. Francisco and Jacinta would soon go to heaven, but Lucia was to stay on earth longer to continue spreading Mary's messages. These events at Fatima are not just historical events. They carry a message of endurance, faith, and peace that resonates with the challenges of our current times. The Pope's recent explanations of these messages aim to give a renewed sense of purpose and understanding of these events, stressing their timeless relevance and the universal call to prayer, peace, and moral integrity. But the significance doesn't end there. The story of Fatima serves as a reminder of the spiritual connections that go beyond religious boundaries, fostering a collective respect for figures like Mary and Fatima, who represent the highest ideals of human virtue. Next, we explore a darker warning from Mary, revealing what she showed the children on her third visit. The call for devotion and redemption. On July 13, 1917, during her third visit, Mary showed the children a terrifying vision. They saw a vast sea of fire, which they believed was hell, filled with many suffering souls and demons. This vision was a serious warning. This could be the fate of those who didn't follow the right path. Mary said that God wanted people to show deep devotion to her Immaculate Heart to save souls from this terrible fate. Mary also warned of big troubles ahead. She predicted the start of the Second World War and spoke about the tough times that would come to the faithful in Russia. She said that if people didn't turn to prayer, and if Russia wasn't dedicated to her Immaculate Heart, the country would spread serious mistakes around the world, leading to conflicts and church persecutions. But this wasn't the worst part. The children's next meeting with Mary was set for August 19, 1917. However, local authorities, worried about the growing attention, detained the children to stop their meeting. Despite this, 6 days later, Mary appeared to them in a quiet field. She urged them to focus on prayer and sacrifice, stressing the importance of their actions. She explained that without their help, many would face the grim reality of the fiery vision she had shown them. During the influenza outbreak that hit Fatima, both Francisco and Jacinta Marto got sick and passed away in 1919 and 1920. Francisco, even while very ill, spent his last days doing acts of penance to offer comfort to the divine. Jacinta, also very sick, used her remaining strength to pray for world peace and for those without hope. By 1930, the Catholic Church officially recognized the importance of these events and believed the children's visions were real. The siblings were later given a special tomb beside the main altar, honoring their lasting spiritual impact. Lucia, the cousin who survived, became a nun in 1934. Many years later, she wrote a memoir about their extraordinary experiences with Mary. This book not only described the frightening visions, but also explained the deep messages given during those mystical encounters. Lucia's writings provided a detailed look into the spiritual challenges and duties Mary shared, aiming to guide humanity back to a moral and spiritual path. But after this chilling vision, there was a promise of hope from Our Lady. She told the children that there was a way to save many souls from this terrible fate and to stop wars from spreading. The key, she said, was for people to stop offending God. If they didn't change their ways, worse things would happen. Our Lady's message turned out to be very important. When people followed her guidance, World War I, which was causing a lot of suffering, came to an end. But the revelations didn't stop there. Our Lady also predicted the end of World War I and warned about another, even worse war, World War II. She said this greater conflict would start during the time of Pope Pius X and gave them a sign, a strange light in the night sky, signaling God's warning of wars, famine, and persecution due to humanity's sins. To prevent these disasters, Our Lady gave specific instructions: the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart and performing acts of reparation on the first Saturdays of each month. She promised that if people followed these requests, peace would return, and Russia would experience a spiritual awakening. But if they ignored these instructions, the world would face chaos, the church would be persecuted, and many would die as martyrs. But this wasn't the worst part. The children's deep experiences and the messages they received gave them a strong sense of purpose. They felt joyful and committed to Our Lady's teachings, and their devotion to her Immaculate Heart became their guiding light. This helped them through future challenges and sacrifices. The promise of her continuous support and the eventual triumph of her Immaculate Heart gave them hope and direction, strengthening their faith and their dedication to the messages they were given. This encounter didn't just shape their spiritual journey, it also offered a way to peace for the world, depending on whether people were willing to change and act with devotion. The children's commitment to spreading these messages showed how deeply they were impacted. Their story reminds us that in the face of great fear and suffering, there can be a path to hope and salvation if we are willing to listen and change. Now we dig into the third secret and its deep messages about how we should live and act. The last of Lucia's Fatima visions. Understanding the last of the three important revelations given to Sister Lucia in Fatima This story reveals the deep vision she documented. Sister Lucia, once a young girl blessed by the visit of Mother Mary in Fatima, received 3 significant revelations. She carefully wrote them down and sealed them in an envelope. Despite her bishop urging her to share the contents, Sister Lucia kept the envelope closed, believing the right moment in history was necessary for its understanding. Years went by, and it wasn't until 1960, almost 20 years later, that the envelope was opened. Yet its contents remained hidden from the public until the year 2000. The vision inside Sister Lucia's letter was vivid and shocking. An angel with a flaming sword that seemed ready to set the world on fire stood before them. This angel, standing to the left of the lady, held the sword in his left hand, its flames burning fiercely. However, the intense heat and light from the sword were miraculously dimmed by the glowing light from the lady's right hand. This powerful scene was not just for show, but carried a serious message about the need for repentance and seeking divine help. The angel, throughout the vision, called for acts of penance while a bright, overwhelming light surrounded them, stressing the urgency and seriousness of the message given to Lucia and her friends. The children, deeply moved by the experience, were given insights that carried great spiritual and moral weight. The vision's message emphasized the immediate need for repentance and the broader implications of spiritual struggles. It highlighted the importance of constant prayer, acts of penance, and a deep devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. These were shown as essential for overcoming spiritual challenges and securing peace by following divine will. But this wasn't the worst part. Lucia also described another part of the vision, where they saw a figure that looked like a bishop, dressed in white and surrounded by a glowing light. This image added more layers to the already complex and dramatic revelation, suggesting themes of leadership, purity, and divine guidance during the trials shown in the earlier parts of the vision. The third revelation of Fatima stands as a profound story, filled with symbolic imagery and deep spiritual themes. It calls for reflection on sacrifice, divine intervention, and the powerful intercession of Mary in guiding humanity through difficult times. The children's experiences and the messages they received highlight the ongoing spiritual journey that all followers are encouraged to embrace, emphasizing that peace and spiritual victory are possible through dedicated spiritual practice and devotion. This story, rich with symbolic depth and dramatic visuals, continues to engage scholars, theologians, and believers around the world. It serves as a reminder of the powerful forces at play in the spiritual world and the importance of following a path of virtue, guided by divine light and the protection of Mary, to face the challenges of life. But the story doesn't end there. The vision also speaks to the broader theme of spiritual warfare. It reminds us that we are constantly in a battle between good and evil, and only through faith, prayer, and devotion can we hope to overcome the challenges we face. This message is timeless and continues to inspire people to live lives of virtue and seek peace through spiritual means. Returning to the story, we see how past visions connect with recent events, showing ongoing challenges for the Church. The climactic vision of Fatima's prophecy. The story begins with an evocative vision that seemed to mirror how people react to their reflections. Lucia and other children, relying on their innocent convictions, perceived a figure whom they thought was the Holy Father. This visionary sequence unfolded with various religious dignitaries, bishops, priests, and nuns, ascending a rugged mountain. At its summit stood a formidable cross crafted from cork tree trunks. The Holy Father, burdened with a palpable sorrow, navigated through a partially ruined city. His journey was marked by prayers for the souls of the deceased he encountered along the way. Upon reaching the cross, he, along with other religious figures, was tragically executed by soldiers using bullets and arrows. Beneath the cross, 2 angels with a crystal vessel collected the blood of these martyrs, blessing their souls as they were lifted towards the divine. This poignant imagery coincided with a real-world event on May 13, 1981, which was exactly 64 years after the initial appearance of Mary at Fatima. On this day, an attempt was made on Pope John Paul II's life, who narrowly escaped death thanks to swift medical intervention. This ordeal necessitated a critical surgery that ultimately saved his life. Lucia's vision, stark and foreboding, was interpreted by some scholars as a symbolic representation of the trials and tribulations faced by the Church. The angels gathering the blood signified the sanctity and ultimate honor of the sacrifices made. Furthermore, the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II was viewed by some as a partial realization of this prophetic vision. Many believed that his miraculous survival and the subsequent events highlighted ongoing spiritual warfare and the enduring necessity for faith and resilience. As Pope John Paul II recuperated, he publicly forgave his assailant from his hospital bed, a testament to his profound faith and forgiveness. His recovery spanned 2 months, after which he returned home. This event stirred discussions about whether it fulfilled the so-called third secret of Fatima, which the Pope attributed to the Virgin Mary's intervention. In gratitude, he visited the Fatima Shrine in Portugal the following year, where he placed the bullet from the assassination attempt into the crown of the statue of the Queen of Fatima, fitting perfectly among its jewels. In 2000, the Vatican declared that all matters regarding the third secret were resolved. However, this did not conclude the discourse. Cardinal Ratzinger, later known as Pope Benedict XVI, addressed the speculation surrounding the secret in his autobiography. He emphasized that the purpose of the vision was not to predict an unchangeable future, but to motivate positive change. He advocated dismissing any fatalistic interpretations, clarifying that human agency plays a crucial role in shaping the future. The significance of these visions extends beyond foretelling specific events. They underscore the importance of human actions in influencing outcomes and averting potential calamities. This shift from fatalism to a focus on proactive change underpins the broader teachings of the Church. Meanwhile, the Church recognizes various Marian apparitions, which, despite skepticism regarding their authenticity, undergo rigorous evaluation. Notable among these is the apparition of Our Lady of Guadalupe and the apparition to Saint Juan Diego, which led to the creation of a basilica in her honor in Mexico City. Similar occurrences around the world, like the silent apparition in Kenanensi, Ireland, and the prophetic messages received in Kibeho, Rwanda, further illustrate the global span and profound impact of these divine encounters. These apparitions often carry messages of peace, repentance, and the necessity for spiritual renewal. They serve as reminders of the enduring relevance of spiritual messages in addressing contemporary global issues, such as conflicts that Pope Francis warns could lead to greater wars. Do these divine apparitions challenge our understanding of reality? Like, comment, and subscribe to join the discussion on this thought-provoking topic.